Hi guys, welcome back to English for You. I'm Pat.
And I'm Mike.
So yesterday we were with Josh and Cherry as they visited a cat cafe, a place where you can get a coffee, you can get something to eat, and it's full of cats who will come and, maybe if you're lucky, they'll come and interact with you a bit.
That's right. Neither Josh or Cherry has a cat at home, but Josh seems to be a fan of this cafe. He's been there before. He knows some of the names of the cats. He pointed out one called Tiger. Tiger's probably an orange cat with stripes. Tiger sleeps all the time. Then there was another cat named Boots who kind of walked up to them. This cat was not shy or nervous about meeting new people. Walked right up to them and then started licking Cherry's hand and getting very friendly. And it seems that Cherry kind of liked the cat too.
Yeah, the cat seemed very comfortable, which is maybe as surprising as a lot of the cats in the cafe are shy around people. Yeah. They were all rescued from the streets by the cafe's owners. So some of them have been, maybe they haven't been treated that well or they're not used to being around people.
Right.
Boots seems a bit different, so Cherry starts to think about adopting him.
There you go, which is good news because at this cat cafe, if you do fall in love with one of the cats, the people at the cafe would be quite happy to have you adopt them so they can bring in more cats off the street and hopefully find homes for them. So, Cherry at the end of our dialogue was, looking for some information about what adopting a cat would actually mean, and I think that's where our dialogue will be taking us today.
That is right.
Maybe at the end of it, Boots will have a new home and Cherry will have a new little friend.
Let's read through and find out.
Reading. Making new friends at the cat rescue cafe. Cherry talks to the cafe owner about adopting Boots.
So, you're thinking about adopting Boots?
That's right. I'm confident I'll be able to take care of him.
Well, I've watched you interact with Boots today, and you seem to appeal to him too. Have you filled out the questionnaire?
Yes, here you are.
Okay, I see that you've previously owned a cat.
Well, not as an adult, but my family had one when I was younger.
I see. Will anyone be able to take care of Boots while you're at work? How many hours will he have to remain alone?
On weekdays, I'm out between 8 a.m. and 6:30 p.m. My mom loves cats, though. She can look after Boots when I'm not at home.
I should also mention that the adoption fee is $3,000. This includes some medical treatment. You'll also need to buy a cat carrier and a variety of other things.
Of course. I understand the responsibilities of looking after Boots.
Cherry and the owner keep chatting.
All right, so as we begin the dialogue, we get our little sentence to set up what's going on at the beginning. It says, Cherry talks to the cafe owner about adopting Boots. Yeah, just at the end, Josh had given her some information, so we can guess that Cherry's probably read through the information and is now talking to the owner for even more information and to get some answers to her questions. So it looks like she's still interested.
The owner also has to ask her questions as well. They need
course.
to make sure she's the right person.
Yeah.
So the owner says, so, you're thinking about adopting Boots. Just to kind of confirm this is what's going on, this is what we're talking about.
That's right.
You would like to adopt this cat.
Absolutely, because we're not selling a pair of shoes or a new smartphone here. We're finding a home for a living animal, and the owners are being very responsible and making sure the people who want to adopt really understand what it means to bring a cat, to adopt a cat into their home. So Cherry says, that's right, correct. I am thinking about adopting Boots. I'm confident I'll be able to take care of him. Well, sounds like she's got a good attitude and she feels very sure of herself. She feels very confident. When you're confident, yeah, it means you believe in yourself. You're not worried about those doubts or fears or things like that. Yesterday we learned that word bold. We talked about how Boots was very bold just to walk up to Cherry and start licking her. Well, confident is very similar to bold, all right? You believe in yourself, you don't let your fears and worries hold you back, and you go forward into the world without a lot of care or a lot of, stress or nervousness about things. For example, I'm confident that Jenny will win the design award this year. She's done great work. I've seen the other people who might win. I think Jenny is number one. Yeah. I'm sure she'll win.
You can say that you are confident about something.
Sure.
If you say that, you think that it will happen. You say, I'm confident I'll win. I'm confident I'll be a good owner for this cat. That means that Cherry is very sure that she thinks this will happen, that this will work out the way she wants. You could say, I did a job interview. I'm confident it went well. I'm confident I'll get the job.
That's right. You believe in yourself.
Okay, so the owner then says, well, I've watched you interact with Boots today, and you seem to appeal to him too.
Okay.
So he says, I've been watching you two guys, and he likes you, you like him. I like this. So he used the word interact, which we also put in our introduction. Now, when two or more people or things act in a way that has an effect on each other, we say they are interacting. Okay, it could be three things. But everything that's doing something is also having something done to it. It's not just one thing with another doing something to it. These things are kind of having a back and forth. Each one is being affected by what the other is doing.
And if something appeals to you, or if one thing appeals to another thing, that means it's attractive to it. There's something about it that you like, or that thing likes, or both of those things like about each other, right? If you're at the end of a busy day and someone says, hey, why don't we leave work, or, why don't we take a break from our homework and go out and get a meal and just relax for the evening? You might say, yeah, that idea appeals to me. I've been working hard. I'm kind of tired. I need a break. I like that idea. It's attractive, or it appeals to me. For example, does the idea of a camping holiday appeal to you? Do you like this idea?
So the owner gets down to business now, okay? Says everything looks good, but we still have to kind of go through the right process here.
Are we talking about paperwork?
A little bit.
Okay.
He does say, have you filled out the questionnaire? To fill something out means to complete a blank form, a blank document. You could be filling in boxes on an internet website or page, and you've got to put in all the required information. So it starts off empty. You fill in, name, address, date of birth. You could be answering questions, putting in details, enter your password, enter this number, all of that kind of thing. You are filling out the empty parts of a form or document.
There you go. And one of the most common things to fill out would be a questionnaire, all right? You see that word question right at the beginning of this longer word, questionnaire? Well, a questionnaire is basically a document that will have a lot of questions on it for you. Questions that the people asking them want to collect so they can learn things, so they can do research and gather data. It can be an important questionnaire from the government asking about, where do you live, what kind of job do you have, how many people share your home, something like that. Or at a lot of restaurants at the end, they'll come and they'll give you a little questionnaire. Did you like the food? Did you like the service? Is there anything that wasn't so good? And that's helpful information for the people asking it. So those forms that we're asked to fill out at different times to gather information, those forms are called questionnaires.
Yep, and Cherry has indeed filled it in and says, yes, here you are. So when we say here you are, what we're saying is here is the thing you just requested. You could also say here you go. Now we use are here because even though it's just one thing you're giving them, a singular thing, the be verb form are goes with you. Here you are. Now we could also say here it is. So the pronoun in that sentence or in that little bit, here you are, here it is deciding the form of the be verb. Okay? It's not about the object you're giving, it's just about the pronoun in that small sentence. Here's another example. A kid might ask, Mom, can I borrow 10 NT? And Mom says, here you are. She could also say, here you go, or here it is. Basically, here is the thing you just asked for. So what she's saying is, here's the questionnaire. I've just filled it in. Have a look.
There you go. So the owner takes the questionnaire and, of course, starts to look over it, right? Read through the answers that Cherry wrote down. So the owner notices something interesting and says, okay, I see that you've previously owned a cat. Ah, this is important information. Kind of like with Pat, whose family had cats before. Cherry, either her family or she herself had a cat, but that means for the owner that Cherry has some experience. She knows what to expect with cats. Yes, cats will sit on your lap and purr and lick your hand, and that's all lovely, but they need to be fed, they need to be played with, they will throw up on the floor, they will maybe damage your furniture, and if you want to take a holiday, you have to find someone or somewhere to take care of the cat. These are the kinds of things that people often don't think about. They're thinking about all those wonderful, cute things about the cat, but not some of the less attractive but also very important things. But since Cherry has some experience, the owner feels a little more relaxed, a little more comfortable, confident that Cherry knows what having a cat really means.
Well, Cherry kind of explains in detail a bit more here. Maybe there wasn't room on the questionnaire to fill this out. So she gives more information. She says, well, not as an adult. So I haven't owned a cat by myself, just me in the house. But, she says, my family had one when I was younger. So she's got kind of similar with me. I've never owned a cat just by myself personally. My family had them and I, took care of it at times and did things at times. So there is a difference, though, between part of a family that has a cat and just you by yourself.
Absolutely. Or if she'd had a dog or something. Well, dogs are very different from cats. So just because you've had a dog doesn't mean you'd like a cat. They are very different types of animals, right? So anyways, she at least has some experience with a cat. So the owner says, I see. Okay, that's like saying, okay, I understand, I get it. And then there's another good question here from the owner. Will anyone be able to take care of Boots while you're at work? Right, if Cherry has a job, she'll be out of the house from maybe 8 a.m. or something like that to 6 or 7 p.m. That's a long time. So will there be anyone else at home while you're at work? And here's another question related to that. How many hours will he have to remain alone? Often the cat will be alone for 10, 12 hours a day.
Yeah, now cats are kind of okay with this, but only really when they've got used to the house and the area.
But they're better than dogs.
Yeah, if it's a new cat, they kind of need a little bit more attention, a little bit more care.
A little nervous.
Once the cat's got used to it, they will probably be quite happy.
They'll just sleep all day.
Yeah, but if you're out, even that said though, if you're working very late or very long hours, the cat still needs to be fed, so you do need to take that into account. It's more about for a new cat and getting it used to things before you just put it in a new home and then abandon it while you go out to work. So that's what we're really talking about here. And Cherry says, on weekdays, I'm out between 8 a.m. and 6:30 p.m. So kind of normal working hours. And she says weekdays. Weekdays just means Monday to Friday, not Saturday and Sunday, not the weekend. Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday are weekdays. Here's an example. Iris usually wakes up at 7:30 a.m. on weekdays.
All right. Well, Cherry explains a little bit about her living situation. She says, my mom loves cats though. Ah, okay. So Cherry will be out working, but she adds, someone will be at home. My mom. And she adds, my mom loves cats though. All right. So that's a good thing. Her mom is a cat fan. Her mom will have no trouble. She can look after Boots when I'm not at home. So there will be someone there to feed Boots if Cherry is away at work.
Okay, now the owner is probably happy with that, but also wants to make sure Cherry has thought of all the important things. Maybe this was in the information, but the owner wants to remind her. She says, I should also mention that the adoption fee is 3,000 NT dollars. And adds, this includes some medical treatment. Now, medical is an adjective and it's to do with basically relating to anything to do with hospitals, medicine, doctors, illness, anything in the kind of medicine area to do with sickness, health, and getting better. That is what medical means. So medical fees, fees for hospitals. Medical profession, working as a doctor, that kind of thing. We can say, for example, Jackie was taken to the hospital in an ambulance because of a medical emergency. So it wasn't that he needed to get to somewhere quickly. He had a medical problem. He had a health problem, needed to see a doctor. So that's a medical emergency.
That explains the ambulance. And let's look at this word treatment. Well, as we mentioned, if you have a medical problem, you probably will go to a doctor's office, a clinic, or a hospital, and that's where you will get your treatment, all right? Treatment is a sort of an established, organized program to help you with whatever your problem is, okay? So, for example, if you have something simple like a cold, well, the treatment for a cold might be take some medicine, go home, rest in bed for 2 or 3 days, drink lots of juice, things like that. But if you have something more complicated, like you hurt your back or you break your leg or something pretty serious, you might have a different treatment that takes a lot longer. You might have to go to a special place, do special exercises as part of your treatment. You couldn't go skiing, or you wouldn't be allowed to go surfing or mountain climbing, because treatment is what you do to make yourself better, right? They've planned it out, they've organized it all, and for a few days, weeks, or even months, if you follow the program, if you follow the treatment, by the end, you should be better. For example, after he injured his back, Harry had treatment for 6 months. I hope he's better now. And this actually is a good point for people who are thinking of adopting a cat or a dog. Medical treatment for cats and dogs, for pets, can be quite expensive. And of course, they don't have their little jimbao card, right? You have to pay for it in cash. So think about that.
Yeah, the cats will need to maybe have an operation, so they can't have babies. They might need injections about diseases. My cat, or a family's cat, once sniffed up an entire piece of grass that got stuck inside it, deep inside its nose.
Okay.
And they had to basically make her fall asleep so that, completely knock her out, so they could extract this long piece of grass.
And
it was making her really uncomfortable.
I'm sure it was. I'm glad that the treatment got her out. And of course, cats can also get serious things like cancer and stuff.
Yes. Yeah.
And that you want to be able to pay for the cat's treatment.
So the owner is talking about some of the financial things that Cherry needs to think about. He adds, you'll also need to buy a cat carrier and a variety of other things. So a cat carrier is one of those special boxes that you put the cat in when you need to take the cat from place to place, like to the vet or to another house if you move, probably from the cafe, taking it home. It's not quite the same as a dog. You can't walk it. Cats don't really go for walks,
not usually.
not in that way.
No.
So that's just one thing, and the owner says you'll need a variety of other things. A variety is a wide range of different things, different choices, different items. Basically, it just means lots of different things. So we could say this buffet serves a variety of international food, lots of different types of food.
That's right.
So we're talking about all the things you need to get for cats. So the litter kind of box where they go and do their toilet business, toys to play with, lots of food and things for them to eat the food out of.
Right.
What else have we got?
Well, those are all some good ones. Bowls, water dishes, things like that. You can get electric feeders. We have an electric water dish that kind of bubbles water because cats prefer to drink moving water. They don't like that bowl of just standing water, so that's a good thing. I would actually say don't buy cat toys because if you make something the cat's interested in, it will play with that just as much. I find a ball of paper is a very good cat toy.
Yes, a reflection of your watch on the wall.
Right, things like that. And I think you can find things you can make out of boxes and shoelaces at home.
They love boxes.
Yeah, you can find things to make for them on the internet. So you can kind of save your money on the cat toys. But a lot of those other things like litter, things for feeding and watering them, you definitely need to buy. So Cherry, she understands this. Remember, she did have a cat. Her family had a cat when she was younger. So she says, of course, yes, obviously. She's like, I totally understand. You don't have to say that. I got it. And then she also just says, I understand the responsibilities of looking after Boots. She's trying to let the cat cafe owner know that, she's thought about this. This isn't just sort of an idea that popped in her head a minute ago. She's been thinking about it for a while, and she feels prepared.
Yeah, for all we know, that was why she went to the cat cafe with Josh.
Right.
She said, I'm kind of thinking about getting a cat. And Josh goes, well, why not come here with me, see if any of them you kind of like, any of them get used to you, that kind of thing.
Get to test drive the cat.
Exactly. Now, there will be a lot more questions. There will be a lot more kind of process. The owner needs to kind of explain how it will work. And in some cases, that maybe even the owner might visit the cat at some point soon to make sure the cat's being looked after.
Visit their home before to make sure the home is
check it's
safe.
And okay, and all sorts of, he might ask, do you already have another cat? Will that cause problems? Because I remember we had a cat and then we got a newer kitten. The older cat did not like that kitten at all.
That can be a problem.
So there's all sorts of things that need to be discussed, and that's why we finished the article by saying Cherry and the owner keep chatting. They're going to kind of cover all the important stuff that needs to be covered. Okay, that is the end of the article. We don't know, unfortunately, whether Cherry will adopt the cat. I've got a good feeling about it.
I do too.
I think it'll happen. But now we're going to our For You Chat question.
For You Chat.
So the question is, what are some of the responsibilities of owning a pet? Could you handle them? We've kind of been going back to this all through today's article about it's not just about being cute and having a nice cuddle and playing with them a bit. There is a lot of other stuff involved in owning a pet. So feeding them, the obvious one. Making sure they get food at regular times, the right kind of food that'll keep them healthy. Keeping them away from stuff that isn't healthy.
That's right.
That kind of thing.
A lot of the good pet food does cost a bit more than the cheap stuff you can buy in 7-Eleven, but it's much healthier and will let your cat live a much longer and happier life. So that's one thing. Of course, the cost of having a pet is another thing. I think another one that people often don't think about is what to do if you go away, right? Cats are a little different from dogs. Cats are very comfortable in their space. So a dog, you can often bring it to a friend's house, and if the dog knows your friend, it might feel comfortable saying, oh, I know this guy, I know this person, I feel safe here. Cats, they don't like to leave their home base. So taking them to one of those sort of cat hotels or something, giving them to your friend to keep at their home, that's not the best.
Yeah, we did it once, and I remember the cats really they didn't seem too happy there. So ever since that, we give the key to our house to a neighbor that we know well, and the neighbor comes around to feed it. And I've done that for a friend of mine when he was out of town. I would go, once a day to, put new food down, put new water down, and if the litter tray was very stinky, I would clean that out and put some fresh litter down for them.
Right, so you need a good friend or family member who would be willing to come to your house twice a day, maybe, hopefully, for, the 2 weeks or whatever you're on holiday. So that's another thing to think about. Among many, many others, you can find lots of good information on the internet. Talk to your friends, get advice from them, because owning a pet is a great thing, but it does come with responsibility.
So could you handle them? I would say yes, since you have pets.
I could, although when I got my youngest cat, I had to bottle feed it.
Whoa!
Because it was 2 weeks old.
Tiny thing.
That was a new one for me. You had to feed it every 2 hours from a bottle, like a baby with the warm milk and all that. So that was a new one for me. So if you want to have it a little easier, wait till the cat's a month old or so before you bring it into your home.
I would say I could not handle a cat because I have a baby, and the baby will need all of that
care. You could just use the same equipment.
I could do, but I'm just going to stick to one thing at a time right now. Not right now.
No.
Maybe in a year or so.
Maybe a new cat together, not a good idea.
It would just be insane.
Yeah.
But there we go. That is the end of our For You Chat question and the end of our 2-day article. Thanks for watching, everybody. We'll talk to you again soon. For English for You, I'm Pat.
I'm Mike. Bye-bye.
Bye.
Making new friends at the Cat Rescue Cafe. Cherry talks to the cafe owner about adopting Boots.
So, you're thinking about adopting Boots.
That's right. I'm confident I'll be able to take care of him.
Well, I've watched you interact with Boots today, and you seem to appeal to him too. Have you filled out the questionnaire?
Yes, here you are.
Okay, I see that you've previously owned a cat.
Well, not as an adult, but my family had one when I was younger.
I see. Will anyone be able to take care of Boots while you're at work? How many hours will he have to remain alone?
On weekdays, I'm out between 8 a.m. and 6:30 p.m. My mom loves cats, though. She can look after Boots when I'm not at home.
I should also mention that the adoption fee is $3,000. This includes some medical treatment. You'll also need to buy a cat carrier and a variety of other things.
Of course. I understand the responsibilities of looking after Boots.
Cherry and the owner keep chatting.
Vocabulary Review.
Confident. Tom is confident he'll win the race because he's faster than all the other kids. Appeal. Movies with great music and exciting fights really appeal to me more than boring dramas. Weekday. Every weekday, I wake up at 7 a.m., but on Saturdays, I sleep until 10 a.m. Medical. My sister finished medical school and became a doctor last year. Treatment. After I broke my leg, I got some treatment from the doctors at the hospital. Variety. There are different varieties of cats and dogs, all with different interesting things about them.
智慧小补帖
Interact. Questionnaire.
以上节目是由活用空中美语制作。活用空中美语杂志，请洽询全国各大书店。如欲索取试听教材，请来电02-2364-4000 02-2364-4000，或上网查询，网址是 www.english4u.net www.english4u.net